And we're back. John,
All
how's it going?
right. It is going well. It's Monday, so Monday, but yeah, things are good.
Now, we both did something absolutely incredible today. First, we are live streaming right now via the power of
Mhm.
T-Mobile, streaming, tethering.
On your phone.
Yeah, on this phone right here. This phone right here. This
Magical.
one. This one. I
Yep.
have Pixel 2 XL. Yeah, I woke up this morning. Everything was going great. And about an hour ago, I all of a sudden lost complete internet on everything. And I go, that's interesting. Everything's wired in my house, right? I do have Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
but everything's wired. And I was like, that's weird. Okay. And I see like, the little Windows little thing goes and my phone has a little question mark. I'm like, that's not good, right? And then I look at the Comcast field report and it's all like, everything's good, brah. You're good to go. And I go, I don't think so. So then I'm like, all right, let me tether. Let me go this on. 20 minutes go by. I reboot my router, reboot the modem, all this stuff. And sure enough,
Yeah.
Comcast is like, hey, there's been a report that, there's an
Yeah.
outage. I live in an old building, and about
Mm.
every 3 weeks, there's an outage for either unplanned or planned, just all the time, always out. So
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
it's great.
My cable, well, my internet seems to, fingers crossed, but seems to stay up until I have like a really important meeting, and then it'll be, like,
Yeah.
then it'll go. But yeah.
So yeah, so
Cool.
you can't see me because I want to save on bandwidth. People can see
Yeah.
me because I stream at a constant 2 megabits per second. So by the end of this stream, I will probably run out of my unlimited 4G tethering. That's my assumption.
Yeah.
So
Talk fast.
talk fast. So we'll do it like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? And try to get through some stuff. But
You should have worn a solid color shirt. That would cut down on the video compression.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And then my light, like I'm so dark right now because the light that I use is an Elgato light, but that's Wi-Fi enabled. So I can only turn it on via Wi-Fi, but I'm not on the Wi-Fi. I'm on my phone's Wi-Fi, so I can't turn on my light.
I was thinking you could set up like an ad hoc network or some sort of.
Not good. Oh my goodness. So yeah, a lot of people in the chat. So Steven's in here, Code Stencil in here,
Awesome.
Copper's in here, Ancient's in here. Also, someone said Code Stencil says, "Hey John, moving your parents went well." So we heard.
Yeah. So my parents have been in the same house for 43 years, and
Whoa.
they finally are moving to a small place, and so we helped them move this weekend. And they have been like consolidating stuff for years. They've been like, they're not cluttery people, and still it was a lot of work. It was a ton of, just boxes and stuff. So
moving is the worst. Just in
it
general.
totally is. I was telling my wife, if we ever move, let's just burn the house down.
I told Heather, I said, our lease was coming up, and I got a nice little sub. Thank you, Pac-Man Jr. for the sub. Appreciate that. 9 months strong. That's fantastical. On your way to 1 year sub. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, I was telling Heather, I go, our lease was coming up. They're raising our rent by $50, and I go, there's no possible way for $50 a month. I mean, that's gonna be $600. It's gonna cost us more than $600 to move, and no way do I want to move yet again after 1 year. Especially if you move in an apartment and 1 year later you got to move again. That's terrible. So
there's probably stairs involved too.
There are it's an old building, very tight and narrow stairs.
Forget it.
Movers do, and I'm not moving it. That's for sure. So,
Yeah.
Well, you also did something incredible. You just installed the Visual Studio tools for Xamarin inside of Visual
Studio. And it went so smoothly. Then later we were like, oh, we should have done that during the stream. Like, we went and got our coffee, and I come back and it's like done. I mean, I haven't actually run the application yet, so but
it installed.
So, yeah.
It
did install. So there's that. Yeah.
That's pretty good. My assumption is that maybe you had already installed it one time in the past, or maybe VS 2017 had it. And if that's the case, you won't have to install Java or the Android SDKs again. You probably only had to install the Xamarin bits, and that is like very, very small. So
cool. Yeah, good stuff.
You just have the world's best computer and the fastest internet. San Diego, what do you expect?
Yeah, maybe it's all of the above.
It could be.
Could be all of those
Uh,
things. So, yeah. So do we want to jump into it?
yeah, what are we doing today? What is
Yeah.
what's
Okay.
happening?
Let me bring this on up. Okay. So,
Are you
uh,
screen sharing?
I'm about to.
Oh my goodness.
I'm getting so close to this. Okay.
Ah,
So there, share screen, not me. All right. And then I need to,
wow.
I'll just move you off the screen because
I'm not there. Oof.
you're not.
For everyone else, I'm there, but no one.
Okay, let's just celebrate this success. Look at all the stuff we've done so far. Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's
it is.
real. That's real.
So then we talked about a few. Here's some like nice to have stuff, notifications and more Twitch integration, stuff like that. These are some stuff we actually have left to do to wrap this. I mean, to have a shipping thing. One is like set up CI/CD, like put it up on Azure and get it, the whole kind of auto publish to Git thing. And then the other is create a mobile app.
Ooh, a
And I
mobile app.
was like, yeah. And I think we already kind of spilled the beans on this a bit because we mentioned the installing the Xamarin tools. So I'm kind of thinking that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, do you want to maybe do a quick recap of where we're at? We were just talking earlier if we
Yeah.
can take what we have right now and maybe hand it off to Rowan and team to
Hmm.
be like, here you go. That's ancient coder. We're gonna take a look and see if the web app is done or not.
Yeah.
Current thing.
Yep.
And
Okay.
we're also gonna see how much bandwidth my computer has. So go
There
into
you go.
it's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll explain kind of the goal here, a high level, and then we can see how close we are to being done with that.
Okay.
We do these shows twice a week. It started with this site, live.asp.net, and it's a YouTube show. So we started doing them every Tuesday for ASP.NET. Then we've more recently added on all the .NETs. So we have ASP.NET on Tuesdays, all the other good .NET stuff on Thursdays. So tools, cloud, I don't know, IoT, mobile, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything but ASP.NET basically on Thursdays. And we're also doing this on Twitch now too. So we have outgrown this site. So what we want to do is create a new site that goes into the .NET website, the main .NET website, and it's replacing, like, if you click in on this community stand-ups, it's basically a page that looks nice and is supported and everything, and it has, includes all the Twitch features and all that. One other thing is this site has, the way we actually do this every week, there's this admin thing.
This is behind the scenes right here. I've never seen
Yeah.
this. Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Yeah. And so this is like we go in and I put in, I have to manually configure this every week. And then right when the show goes live, I have to make sure to update it and save it. But there's just like stuff that has to happen.
Like an animal. Like an animal.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, like a common animal. And what we want to have this do is just be driven completely off the YouTube APIs.
Like a gazelle.
Yes, like also an animal, but a speedy animal.
A speedy gazelle.
Yeah, so we've been building out this site. It was actually last time we ran it, and we were kind of a little shocked. So we have functions set up now that are pulling the YouTube APIs, and we have the website is going against those functions. So that allows us to, it's kind of separated, and then we can also turn over just the function endpoints to Rowan and team, and they can build out a pretty website. But this is also like a nice proof of concept, and anyone else can use this. So this is as it's spinning up. This is the update shows and get shows APIs, and so that's running. And then I need to separately, I guess, run. I could configure multiple to run.
Yeah.
But debug, I guess I'll just do. I could do that. Start new instance.
Yeah, I'm thinking probably for like maybe next time we could do where we set up a CI cycle for the Azure function and deploy the Azure function. We might not even have to deploy the website yet. We could deploy the Azure function so we don't have. So if someone's running this, they don't have to run localhost, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
I got a package. Continue
Oh,
on.
that's exciting.
Classic.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the site running. And you already see like an exciting difference between this and the previous, which is this is pulling in the so the previous one, here we go, looks like that, but it's only ASP.NET and it's all manually configured, and it only runs against the playlist after the fact. And this one pulls these in, and it includes the Tuesday and Thursday ones.
All right,
And
you did it.
yeah.
Back.
I'm just showing this off. This is pretty cool. The how we have the Tuesday and Thursday. I mean,
Yeah, looks good. Wow.
cool. And then we have the APIs, which is localhost. So if I go localhost and it's 7071, I think.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Git shows, and it's just beautiful JSON endpoint.
I love JSON endpoints.
Yeah. And like I mentioned last time, I think this should be the website. Just give the people the data and they can decide what to do with it.
Give them what they want, and that's what they want. They want the data. I need the data.
So do we want to actually like just hack together a quick Xamarin app to point at this endpoint?
Sure. Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah. Do you want to look at the so one thing that'd be nice is that we could probably look at the code that's shared or that we like put a bunch of code into the .NET Standard library, right?
Mm-hmm. I am, before doing anything else, I'm just grabbing a copy of this because maybe in case we want some tests. Okay. So we want to look at our shared library, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, so we've got the shared. We have interface for YouTube service, and we have show.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we can start to put some other stuff in there, I think, which is nice. So we can start sharing more logic. So yeah, do you want to spin up a new mobile app and we can talk through the options?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. So I'll do the close everything, close all.
I also just put on, whenever someone follows me or someone subscribes, I have like a billion emojis that come out, and I get to look at that, and it's pretty cool. I'm sure
that is cool.
Probably super annoying for everyone that like watches this later on on YouTube.
I am seeing here, by the way, looks like there is an unchecked in change. Whoa. Oh, wait, why is this?
Oh, did you not check in your code from last week?
Oh my goodness. Well, so some of this, yeah, it looks like I didn't.
I think those .g files.
I don't want those.
Yeah, the entire function you didn't even put up there. Jon.
Oh man. Okay, let's rectify that then.
I believe last week we literally were scrambling for time, and at the very end we're like, go. So, yeah.
Okay. I should fix my Git Ignore too at some point. Like, number one, these shouldn't be there, but no. Okay. So let's go through and add all the stuff, and then I'll just remove the items that need to be removed. So here, so here I can just go pages, unstage.
We didn't change anything inside of those are all done.
There's just this health check. That one there. Okay, so these are all the GCSs. Cool. All right. So now this will be, yeah, what did I do here?
I think it adds a Git Ignore automatically for you when you create a function.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because it like wants to hide your local dot settings or whatever. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So added or moved.
Yeah, because here you'll have your local.settings.template that we created, but your stuff won't be. Your key is not in there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And great. I think we're set to go with that. Commit. And do some synchronization. Whoop. This, I'm interested to see if this works, by the way. I just set up Git signing using smime, or Git smime sign.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, using my YubiKey.
What is a YubiKey?
YubiKey is well, I'm going to bring up a web page to show it because I don't want to unplug it because that would ruin things. you'd also see. So YubiKeys are these. It's a hardware device, and it can they can store like they can store certificates and stuff on them. So I've got actually I think looks like this. I got one for free from GitHub. Or for $5 or something. They were giving them away at one point. So, but then one nice thing with this, let's see if it worked. Going over to my codes, move that, and if we go to my commits, it should show verified. So, and then this verified is because I got a free SMIME cert. There's different places that give them out, and so I got a free SMIME cert, and then I configured it, and I'll just show this real quick. Glenn Coder.
I was gonna say, because it's one thing I've never really figured out how to do. I think on Mac, like sometimes if I do it from the command line, it'll verify it. Sometimes it won't.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Because you can configure GitHub to actually say, only accept verified commits or whatever too. Which is
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So there's another way you're supposed to be able to do this, but it runs this like thing in the browser. Hanselman wrote it up, and it didn't actually work for me. So this is cool. Glenn Watson wrote this up, and it's a global .NET global tool you configure.
That's cool.
And yeah, and so then it just automatically, my YubiKeys plugged in, and it automatically is signing all my commits. So
beautiful. That's nice. You got to figure that out.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. All right. So what are we even doing? Oh, so
what are we doing in life, John?
So now, winding back a bit, we are adding a Xamarin app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. So
I'm gonna let you figure it out.
All right. So let me see. We have mobile app with Xamarin. So there's a few Android, blah blah blah. I think I just want to go mobile app.
Yeah. So your options here. So there's the top three are really the three different things that Xamarin offers, right? So there's the top one is the standard mobile app cross-platform UI with Xamarin Forms, right? You're going to target iOS, Android, and UWP if you want to. And then Android and iOS app, the ones underneath that is just a straight Xamarin Android app with separate user interface for iOS and Android. But you could share code, like business logic between them. I think for this app, and what most people do is file new mobile app. But also note that if we wanted to below, I'm pointing at the screen, like people can see, like I'm pointing so there's Android Wear and watchOS. Like you can always add an Android Wear app or a watchOS app, even if you use Xamarin Forms or not Forms. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Cool. And then there's this Android XAML app. Okay, so that's Xamarin Forms, but that's if I want to do something specific.
Yeah, that one's like, I only want to create an Android app. I don't even care about iOS, but I want to use Xamarin Forms.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So I guessed right. It's the top one. That's nice. I know they are working really hard to make this like get the right results in here, make it easy to find stuff and
like when you do web app or whatever, it has like additional options or whatever. But yeah, we're working on that.
Is that cool there?
I love it.
Okay. So now, master detail.
We got this old school dialogue, which we just put in, but we're working on integrating into the new flow at some point. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. I would guess master detail, because I want to see a list of shows and then be able to click in and see details for one show and maybe view it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then include web API project. And I don't think I want to do that because we've already got an API, right?
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need it. I think so let's go through these. So master detail, it actually tells you what it's going to do. So this one's going to use a side menu, so like a fly out menu in general. Then if you click on tabbed, let's see what tab does. Tabbed is going to allow you to use navigation between several child pages. It comes with sample pages and sample data, and this one has tabs, obviously. And then there's shell, which is like the new hotness, actually.
Oh.
So shell is like an app container that helps you simplify development of your application structure on iOS, Android, and Windows. And that one might be the one that I would actually tell you to go with.
Okay.
So all three of those, 1, 2, and 3, they all have the same pages, view models, and views. All of them. They're all the same. So no, regardless of what you're doing, it's going to be like that. Master detail, it's a little bit weird because master detail is really like a fly out navigation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's there. But yeah, the tab is like the app shell is the new hotness.
I remember now at Xamarin Developer Summit, people were like, shell, yay, shell, it's awesome. So now that does, and I wrote down notes, check out the shell thing. So
check out that.
So why is it called shell? It's like a container that holds pages.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, totally.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's basically it. Yeah, for all intents and purposes. Yeah, when you take a look at it, why don't you just spin it up?
Okay.
Yeah.
One other question. So UWP is not checkable here. Is that because I don't have UWP tools installed, or is it not applicable?
Yeah, so click on Master Detail or tabbed or blank. So good question. So it's disabled for all of them, and that is because you do not have the UWP tools installed. So like hover over it. Let's see if it says anything. Let's see if it's smart enough. No. So so I think at one point we had like removed it. We had gone through like removing it if you didn't have it installed, but then that's confusing. So if we allow you to select it and you don't have the tools installed, then it will fail to fold, right? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we detect if you have the tools installed, and if you do, it's enabled. And then you could create one. One caveat there is that the shell project doesn't support UWP yet. There is a pull request to support that in the future. So that would always be disabled on this one for now. But so it's a little confusing, but yeah.
Cool. All right, let me click that OK. Get it going. Now I'm going to need to do, as I remember last time I kind of went through this, I needed to set up an emulator, create an image or something. Maybe that's gotten simpler.
We'll see.
All right. Yeah. The answer to everything. Okay, so I've got some views. I've got an app XAML. I'm guessing the app XAML is just kind of it just says, here's my app, and that's about it, right? And then there might be some code behind to start things up. I'm just clicking around like crazy.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is startup, shut down, whatever. Okay, cool. And then my main thing, I'm going to have my, okay, so I have an item, so that's going to be my model, and I can replace that, or I can have it link over to my shared model. And then let's take a look at, so it was calling up a view. It was saying to load a main view, but I don't see a main view. I have an item page and a new item page, item detail. Okay.
Yeah, go into you're correct. App XAML is where it starts. So go back into your app XAML here. And so this is blank. This is where you would put your resources, like global. And then in the code behind, so it's creating main page equals a new app shell.
Okay.
Yeah. So main page would be like the main page of your application, and this new app shell is something that's brand new. Yes.
Okay.
So right below that is going to be your app shell XAML.
So how does it know when app shell starts up, how does it decide which view to show?
Yeah. So go into your app XAML or app shell, I guess.
App shell. Okay. So that, I see now I
was hinting.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So this is kind of that's all that. Okay. And I've got browse about. So those are some pages. And then I'm guessing in the code behind, it's going to do the actual. All right. Just initialize. All right, then.
Yeah. So what this is doing here is, if we look at the structure, these are like resources. So this is another sort of app wide. This is also theming for your shell. So in one place, you can theme your entire application, and it will theme it through every single page for all intensive purposes.
Nice.
And then below, it will give you, so it gives you a tab bar with 2 tabs in it. Okay. And each tab has this thing called shell content, and those are your pages. So this is going to tell the tab bar that there's tab bars, and tab 1 is called browse, with an icon, with a PNG, with a page content template of items page. So that's the first one here on line 35. Okay. And then on line 38, there's an about page, which is going to point to about. Now, it uses this funky shell content template, data template thing
Mm-hmm.
as an optimization. So like you could just shove a page in there, but then it will create all of those pages at startup. This data template, content template idea basically is lazy loading. So only
Okay.
load these pages when they start.
So how does it? I'm guessing it's going to show items first.
Yeah, it just shows your first page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. So now let's check out that. Is there like a designer kind of view for this, or is it?
Yeah. So if you pull out, so maybe close down your output a little bit on the bottom, we get more
Yep.
XAML. Then yeah, what you can do is see on the bottom right, there's like a little that right there. You go, perfect. Boop. So this will open
What? Cool.
the previewer. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not a designer, but it is like a one-to-one sort of mapping of what it would look. So it actually boots up a bunch of Android resources and designer properties, and then attempts to give you like a preview of it. This is something that the team has been working on over and over and over again on it to optimize it, and make it buttery smooth. But there's a lot of dependencies on it, so that's why we are
Yeah.
introduced hot reload. So we don't have to even worry about it in the IDE, but we'll see if it's been. There we go. Boom.
Look at that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, and then this is getting items out of like, there's this items page. So if I go to my code behind, so it's getting, okay, so that's getting a bunch of stuff. So it's saying there's a selected item, there is a items view model, so binding context items view model, and let's check. Oh, so that's the items view model.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So items page, items view model has a bunch of items.
Okay, and all working off this observable collection base view model. Cool, cool. All right, and then just let me check out the base view model. So this is doing stuff. This is working against dependency service. And, okay, and INPC. I remember the INPC.
Mm-hmm. So
Cool.
it puts down a bunch of boilerplate code, right? Like a blank app would really give you a blank app, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Now, if you look at that items page.xaml again that you had open, very far right.
Yep.
So when you scroll down a little bit in the XAML, what you'll see here right there is this design time data. So so how this is working is this list view. They've implemented design time data. So you can do D: on anything, and then that would be the design time data or design time attribute to use. So this view doesn't run any of your code at all. So it completely ignores your code behind for optimizations. You can opt it in if you really want it to. But yeah, you can change that. And you can tell that I wrote the sample because fourth is spelled incorrect.
Wonderful.
Now, if you scroll up a little bit here in the list view, notice that the item source has a binding to items. So when you run this app, it's going to ignore the D: stuff in general, and it's going to use your actual item source, which is what's actually data bound up.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes. So, and then this, I was like, why doesn't it? So item description is just hard coded in here. This is D: text. And again, this is D:, so it's design time.
Yeah. So you could change that to anything, and then it would, and the real one is data bound to description. So you could, if you wanted to, you could see how, so the list that we put in there is just a list of strings. So that's why the first label has a binding of dot, and it's just going to display the text there. There you go, seeing an update. So one thing that you can do is you could say, instead of being a type of string, be a type of my item model, and then you can actually create the items inside of there. And but that requires an initial compile because it needs to kind of know about the stuff that you're doing, and it needs to know about like your models and IntelliSense. So that's why we just put those.
Just as strings, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so I am eager to just start going. So what I'm thinking I would do is create a new. I mean, I could just update items view model.
You could. Do you want to run it and just see what you can
Sure.
delete? Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I can do this. No, I don't want functions. I want.
yeah, probably try to
What?
run the Android one.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you see what was created here, right? So one thing that we might want to do.
Ooh.
Oh, you have hot reload
Showing.
installed. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. But I need to upgrade.
Do it. This is brand new. Oh,
Yeah.
so you're on our latest preview, which is great. And we've installed hot reload in the latest preview bit, so this is great. Is this an internal preview? Int preview.
Maybe. Do you see it? Where do you see it in preview?
Top right.
Oh yeah.
That's good. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. I mean, we're gonna include it anyways. So cool.
Cool.
I just updated it for you. That's a new cool feature. So we'll pretend that you just installed it automatically. So
Yep.
So minimize your stuff really quick in your Solution
Everything?
Explorer. No, in your Solution Explorer.
Oh wait, just a second. Minimize the Solution Explorer, so I can do that one. No, that one.
So here's what got created, right? You have your mobile, your mobile.android,
right.
and your mobile.ios.
Yep.
So what I like to do is put all three of those in a folder called mobile apps or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like just to kind of clean it up a little bit.
Okay, so I'll do add folder.
Yeah. I just like that because that way all three of those you can kind of shove up over there. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right, cool. So so I can just go.
Yeah, this is just kind of a pointer. Files or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, the solution folders is an interesting thing. I forget about them sometimes.
Yeah, so
cool.
So here it is a little tricky. Like it's fun to watch you just set the mobile as your startup and then not actually try to do anything. So you actually want to set either iOS or Android as your startup and that's when you'll actually deploy it. So that's going to go through a full build and things like that.
All right.
This is great.
This is fun.
You're going to experience, and I'm basically constantly changing. I'm going to do.
I'm not seeing what yours is. The screen.
I'm doing a great job of my.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Constantly.
And I have OBS on this machine. I should get set up at some point as a fallback person. Okay, so now I need to create a new device emulator thing, right? Do I just go with the default Pixel 2?
So what I would do is so what happened is you didn't have any Android emulators. We don't install any for you automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So we open up this. One thing that you could do is select that. I would unselect the two checkboxes for Google Play services and that
APIs.
Yeah, because we're not going to need them. It just adds extra stuff. Basically, if you need to use Google Maps or other things like that, you should install them. Mm-hmm. I like to not install them on some of my machines because every time you open the emulator, it has to do checks on the Play Store and make sure things are installed properly. And sometimes I don't want it to worry about that, so I choose to not. But
okay, cool.
That's the only thing. Everything else is fine.
Do you change the name here? No, or whatever.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Create
it. This is fun.
Right, now you're watching the what happens when an educated person goes through and starts.
This is great.
Yeah. Okay. So it's downloading it's downloading images. This is actually not Visual Studio, right? This is the Android Device Manager. This is what you get if you install the Android stuff, right?
No. So we wrote our own.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so Google got rid of theirs and they included it in Android Studio. So the team created their own SDK manager and device manager that ships with Visual Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is specifically, go to the triple dot on the top right and then do a about. But there is no about. So there you go. There's
no about.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you don't get one. I thought there was an about. So I think on the SDK manager there's an about. I'll go tell the team. So what this has done is it now has gone to Google, downloaded the images, and now it's going to create it on your machine.
And this is, I think I remember at times there was stuff where it was like you had to go and run all this command line stuff in order to configure things, right? So this is doing magic for me.
Doing all the stuff behind the scenes, and then the nice part here is that we control this experience, so the team can update it, optimize it. And the reason we don't install Android emulators is because they're pretty big, and we want to make sure that you can get to Visual Studio faster. Because maybe you're only doing iOS work, or maybe you install the Xamarin components, but you're not going to create a mobile app for 2 months, right? So there's that. And then,
and by the time I do, then it's not the current image, or it's not the instead of trying to guess what I might want to use, because that was one thing that was frustrating at times in the past, was Visual Studio installs were enormous, right? And it would take forever to install a new thing. And I love this, that they're lightweight and work well side by side. And all right, look at that. So now I can go ahead and hit start. Okay, so now do I want to? Sure. All right, so now it's popping on my other screen. So just wait a minute. I need to read. Wait, is that a misspelling? They misspelled fourth also. Okay.
That's cool. I have no idea what it's doing. This is fun. So
downloading.
I believe what has happened here, this might be a new flow. I'd have to talk to Jon Douglas. I think what's happened is there's a newer version of the Android emulator that's available. So we've detected that. And then we're telling you to update that really quick. I think. I have no idea. This is all magic to me.
That was a very fast, tiny update. So that is a nice thing.
And the first time you created that image, it did take longer to create, because what it had to do is download the emulator package, unfold it, and unzip it. And then if you were to create another one, it would be a lot faster. So there you go.
Cool. All right. Yeah, and I did run through this before, because I did this at one point on hotel Wi-Fi, and it was like after it was cached, it was much faster. Okay, I clicked on start, and I think, I'm not sure what's happening. There's nothing popped underneath.
Oh, all right. Thinking. Uh-oh.
Now I broke it with the spinning.
This is good, because then I can give a go to Jon Douglas and be like, Jon, what's happening here? Oh, there you
go. Boy. Oh, no.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so turn on to switch to native hypervisor will accelerate. Now, I don't want to do that, because that's going to require me to reboot, possibly.
But wait, Jon. It doesn't.
Okay.
No. So
see, I was just worst case scenario assuming.
So what is happening here? So I'm going to describe what has happened for anyone that's like brand new to what's happening here. So this tells you right here. So how Android emulators work is they're emulating an Android device. So by default, it attempts to emulate that like via ARM or x86, and that's very, very slow unless you use a acceleration virtualization piece of technology, and there's two available. So the tried and true old-fashioned one that Intel ships is the Intel Haxum. Yes.
Yeah.
Now the problem with that is that you can't run Haxum and Hyper-V side by side. So the team had worked very close with the Hyper-V team and the Google team to light up Hyper-V support for Android emulators from Google. So they're the official ones, right?
Wonderful.
So this is going to walk you through how to do it in general. That's what you need to do right there. So
all right, so I do Windows features. So I'm just typing. So I did the start search thing. All right, let's go through and make this happen. I always try and, it's good that it's showing exactly which ones to check, because I usually try and cheese out and not install everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I've got everything checked there. So the one thing I don't have is that Windows Hypervisor platform.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, Jon is learning some Xamarin Janiscu. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
it's funny. I used to do not Xamarin, but I've done XAML a while ago. So it's interesting. There's cobwebs being dusted off. Yep.
So let's see. TBD Gamer asks, does this require virtualization to be enabled at the BIOS level of the computer? I think I went through this last year and had to enable in the BIOS. Yeah. So that is so good. Great question. So if you're using Intel Haxum, yes, you need to go enable that inside of your BIOS. Or maybe I guess you do in general. I've never had to do that for Hyper-V though, because
Well,
Hyper-V would already be on, I guess.
it does. Yeah, it does for Hyper-V. As long as you got Hyper-V turned on, I think nothing has to change, right?
Yeah.
But these are the things. But this is basically, I think, by default now. This stuff is usually turned on. So
yeah.
All right. So now I'm back over here. I guess that was turned on.
Did it install it?
Yeah. It seems to have.
Okay.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, so close that.
Wait.
So close that. Close the entire window. This is a bug.
All right. Okay.
Now try to now what you want to do is instead of hitting that one, go a little bit to your right and not that one, the one to the left. The left. That one. That will open it again.
Okay.
So now this, I think only on startup it queries that thing. So we'll see if this, okay, there we go. Yeah. That's one thing that I think they need to work. But
okay.
Oh, John's big. Cool. Wow, that actually.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now it's booting up this device. Now, question while it's doing this, I've been doing Android just because I was sure it would work. The iOS stuff, will it say, hey, you need to get a Mac, or does it like, do you need to be paired up to a Mac for it to work, or how does that happen?
Yeah, that's correct. So for iOS, you need to be connected to a Mac to do things currently. So if you went and set iOS as the startup, it would tell you like, hey, you need to go pair to a Mac, go through a whole process, XYZ. And if you had one, then we could do that too. I think you have Mac sitting around, right?
I don't right now. My brother's got it. I got to get it back.
So yeah, so this works, right? So this is a default Android emulator.
Sweet. Okay, so now I can
running on top of Hyper-V.
Yeah, and it's fast.
Yeah,
I'm happy with this. Okay, so now I can go over here and hit run.
Yeah, you do that.
Correct. So now I'll do that.
So this is going to fully compile your application, do stuff, and then run it.
So does this work with the hot reload?
It does. Yeah, device or emulator, yeah.
Wow.
So one thing I like to do if you want to while that's compiling, go to the triple dot on that emulator. So those are the Android emulator settings, and what you can do is under settings there, on the bottom right, there's always on top. See it there? Uh-oh, I lost John. Uh-oh. Lost John. Uh-oh, hold on. John back. Doot. Oh. If John got lost in the cloud. Or try to call him back here. There we go. Uh-oh. John is unavailable. What it says, John. Uh-oh. Picnic. There we go. Ba-na-na-na.
Okay, are we back in action?
We're back.
Hooray.
There we go. You probably need to share your screen again.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, finding my... And there we go. And there we go. Sharing the screen.
And if you want, I'm going to try to save bandwidth. You can turn off your camera. I'm just going to show a nice photo of you.
Okay, sounds good.
Look at you put it in dark mode. That's funny.
I know. Without adult supervision for a minute or two, I immediately switched to dark mode.
And then, yeah, there's that emulator on top or whatever, which is kind of nice on the bottom.
Oh, right. Okay, so emulator always on top.
I like that for hot reload, because else whenever you go into the IDE, it's going to go to the bottom. So
cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Man.
Okay,
Boom.
So now I can do this.
There's your
so
app.
Now let me play with that a second. So I'm going to go over to that, and then here where I'm going to change it back to 4th.
Aha.
And then
let's see. You're using the real data.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so now where is it getting
But
the
see,
real.
but see now, if you want to, John, you could now mess around with that view cell, right? So you could, mess around with, any of that stuff that's inside of there. So if you wanted to, change the label, like font size, for instance, right? You can make it bigger.
Right. Okay. So, and this is D something. So that's why I'm not seeing that. Okay. So if I go to 18, so I just changed. Oh, look at that. Okay. So let's go back to 13. Let's make this 20. This is wonderful. Now, I think I'm able to, like, let's say I set it to a stupid value that shouldn't work. Then, as I remember, you were saying, like, you automatically, like, you just don't run it if it's not, like, you keep, like, the hot reloader always works, right?
Yeah.
So even if I write bad code, you'll just, okay, so now let's save that. Now it should be able to work, and now it's
Bam.
good. This is cool. Okay.
Yeah, so now you can kind of like explore around the app, and then I think what you could end up doing is just like deleting a bunch of stuff and figuring out what you want to actually put in the app. You know what I mean?
Yep. Okay.
So I'm gonna let you explore. Just go to town.
Okay. So I'm gonna go. So.
And you can always minimize the emulator too, even though it's always on top. You can still minimize it with that. But that's why I kind of like it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So it is running. So what exactly am I allowed to edit? I guess I'll pretend like it's like I'm editing Razor and stuff. So I'm going to go and look here. I've got my item view model. So this is just this is holding items. This is a collection holder. So I'm going to leave that as is, and I'm just going to monkey with my item itself. So I'm going to change this to title, and then I'll add in a new one. And we'll do like thumbnail, and then we'll add another one. And we'll do URL, video URL.
Okay.
All right, so now these it's unhappy with. Changes made will not be applied while it's running. Okay, so I will need to restart it in order to get that going. Fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we don't do code reloading yet.
Not yet. Okay, so I'm gonna stop debugging.
There's always a yet.
Yeah,
we always want to do everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is crazy amazing what all it's doing so far. Okay,
I didn't actually know that you could do that. So usually, like when you try to go edit code, it's like no. But now, I guess the hot reload is like the whole team is like doing awesome stuff. So I didn't know that it's like tells you like, hey, you can go change this code, but like you can't execute it yet. So that's funny.
Right.
That's cool.
Okay, so now I want to go into this, and I'm gonna I want to start showing some of these things. So I've got this top one is now going to bind, instead of text, it's going to bind to title. And then this one here, description. Now I want to get fancy and put in a thumbnail.
Okay.
And I want to also be able to, like, when I click on an item, maybe switch to a view that's going to actually show it in the player.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I do something like, is there an image?
There's a whole toolbox if you want.
Oh, man. Okay.
I mean, you don't have to load it, but there is one.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so let's do that. Let's toolbox, initializing. Very cool. Okay, so I would think to use an image, not a cell, just an image. Okay, so let's do that. All right, and so now the source is just a second. If I do Control KD, is that gonna? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Control KD. I like that. I don't know.
Format. Control KD does format.
Oh, that's right.
Auto format. Okay. So now I don't need that. So let's get rid of you. Okay. So I'm gonna have to design how it looks, and I also need to bind, and I want to bind to binding that. I want to bind to, and I think it was thumbnail.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
Path.
It's not gonna show you. It's not gonna show you the names inside of there. You just gotta kind
Okay.
of put it in there, just the name of it. Yeah.
Something like that. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, you don't need the path. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what it was? What's in your item dot?
No, it's almost definitely not. Oh, it was.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Okay. And then do I need to do? Let's pop this back out, and I need to set some sizing on this or something, right? So it's gonna. Oh, and I also need design time data.
Yeah, so what you could do here if you want to is you could do, like, this is why I like the design time data. You could do like D : background color, right?
Oh, right. Okay, so I can say D : wait, so don't I need to say source equals?
No, because there won't be a source. So like when I think of images, I just pretend that it's a box, right?
Okay.
Yeah. It can display images, but then you need to add the images like into your project. So yeah, so now you can just like give it a background color, right? Anything.
Right. Wonderful.
And that's how big it is.
Okay, so now I need to size it. So I'll do
like also John has read no documentation at all. So this is
I'm just going for it. So I could do minimum height or height. So that's interesting. I'm seeing height request.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, equals, I don't know, 100.
There you go.
There we go. All right, so that is interesting. I'm assuming as a height request, I'm requesting a height versus setting it, which is
so the request is kind of legacy just for the fact that sometimes you may in your layout be, let's say you gave it a grid and you said, well, the row is 20, but then you're like height request 100. It could be like, well, I can't give you 100, right? I can only give you 20. So it's going to try its best. And you can see here what's happening is the horizontal like part of it here is stretching it, right? So it's going to stretch it as much as possible. So you could change that to put it in the middle or do something else, right? If you wanted to.
Yeah, and I could set like an aspect or something. I don't know. Okay. So, and then I'm guessing I want something to be clickable. So when I click, I mean, maybe on the entire block.
Yeah.
It would take me over it would navigate me somewhere else.
Yeah, so if you run the app again in the emulator, you just bring up the emulator. You don't even need to debug it.
All right. Okay.
Slide up from the bottom. And then that little Xamarin.
Oops, wrong one. Whoop, Xamarin. Where are you gone? There it is.
It's also fun when I've done so many demos, I just have a billion Xamagons. I'm like, what did I do? So yeah, just play around this app, right? So you can do things that you would think you would do, right?
Okay, so now, I didn't save this.
And you're not debugging anymore, so it's not going to hot reload.
Okay.
But so by default, the app, when you get it, if you tap on an item, like go ahead and tap on one, like would do some navigation, right? When you go to add, for instance, on the top right, that will pop up a modal dialog box where you can add an item into the list. So that type of stuff is built into the template for you already.
Okay, so I want to start changing some of the stuff around. So I don't want that add, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, because this is all, I might want like a refresh or something.
Yeah, you can just run the app again if you want, then you can hot reload it.
Cool.
Yeah, so the previewer also, you kind of noted that it didn't actually show you like that toolbar. So that's
okay, so it says custom components are not being rendered because problems were detected.
Yeah, so take a look at your errors there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, look. Okay, item doesn't contain a text. So there we go. So I need to say title. So, oops.
Yeah, and probably what you should have done. So
Is
maybe
rename.
is rename. So why don't you do that instead? That'll be way better.
Well, it's only in a few places.
Okay, that's
Right?
true. That's
Oops.
true. That's true. Good point. Good point.
If nobody was watching, I would actually find replace on title equals. But there you go.
And I guess the part that we would probably do in the future too is we would probably just reuse the model, right, that we already have.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, totally. Right. Right. Okay. But I did, this actually was nice for me to see where I broke everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's in this view model, it's in the detail and in the browse. So cool. Yeah, you're right. So how would I work to do that? I could go, because my model is just a simple model, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could go into my, now one problem is there's also the, never mind, I'm thinking out loud. There's a base view model. Okay, so item detail view model here. And I also have, sorry,
No, you're good.
there's, okay, so there's an items view model. Let's break this by pointing, instead of a list of items, I'll point to a list of, what are they? Shared.
Mm-hmm.
Show. So I'll say, oh, and I don't have a reference yet in this. So I want to add a reference, I'm guessing,
Mm-hmm.
to shared. Okay. So now, wonderful. So now I can go back into my items view model and change this to a list of show. And then control dot. Oops. Yep. Okay. So now this is all going to break, which is fine. So
Yeah, and I think here we can start deleting some code, right? So I think here what this is doing is it's saying like whenever you add a new item, then
all right.
so you can just delete that code, right? You're never going to add a new item into here. That's good.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. So this is good. So there's a command that calls execute load items command. So that's cool.
Cool. And then here it's trying to add items, but this item is getting a wrong type. So, so that is actually coming from var items data store. So if I go to that, go to definition, and we'll change this. That's an INumerable of t. So how is it figuring out what sort of thing? Get items async. Okay, this is just the interface. Sorry.
Yeah,
Exploring
so
the space. Yeah. So
yeah.
iData store. So where is my actual service that's getting stuff?
So the one that we're using, go into your code behind for your app XAML CS in there.
Okay. App XAML. This one here? No.
Just the app.
That was app shell. Yep. App XAML. Okay.
So what this is going to do is it's going to register a mock data store.
Got it. Okay, so let's.
That's you can think of that as your startup code. Like in ASP.NET, it has that dependency service registration, and this is going to, for all intents and purposes, be your dependency registrar.
Okay, so I'm going to delete all these other ones except for the first. We'll fix the first, and then we'll do some copy and paste of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I instead want to do, instead of item, we want to show. And that. And I could have refactored, but again, I'm using my excuse of I want to actually fix the code, right? See what breaks and fix it manually. Okay, so now we want to get rid of all these things. And this is a brace, and I have a weird keyboard, so it's hard for me to see which. There it is. Okay, cool. All right, so wonderful. So now I want to go through and fill in some of these properties. So control space. And there's a lot of stuff. I don't need all of it though. So I've got display title and title. I think we were being smart in the past, and I forget. I think display title was calculated. Let's see. Okay, shared. Here we are, shared. So we have topic's calculated. Display title is also calculated, and it comes from title. So I'm just going to set title. And that's not the one I wanted. I was in mock data service. Got to remember the stack here.
Yeah.
Equals. Equals. I have my lights off in here, and I didn't realize it because I was just touch typing until now. Okay, so James shows us off.
Great, stand up.
Yes. Okay, cool. So that's title. So there's that. Now let's go with what else do we need? So we need a thumbnail
URL.
Yeah.
I think you have all that data right in the browser, don't you?
We do. We also have it in our mock service thing.
Oh yeah, you have that JSON file right in the web.
Yeah, in the web. There it is. So libman app settings. Where was? Oh, sample data. Yeah. Actually, I could just copy all of this stuff.
Yeah, copy and paste that puppy right there.
Yeah, and then we'll just do there. We'll go into here, and we'll just convert from JSON to
C#.
Yep. And I'm sure there's a way to do this manually. I mean, automatically, but okay, so I'll do equals. Everybody gets to watch me type. Cool. All right. So, so this. Cool. Yep. Oh, you know what? If I was being fancy, I always forget what the shortcut is, but you can do block select.
So,
this way.
So Malti says Alt Shift down. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I always forget. I like show people, do you know about this cool feature? So I can do this. Control H, oops. Control H, and we'll convert that to space equals. And I think that, and then do current document. Let's do them all. Cool. So that got those. And then these are unhappy because can't convert. So I think I need to do, what's the best way to parse it? Oh, and these are those JSON dates. We already have code to do this.
Yeah, but
right?
you could probably do datetime.convert, right?
Okay.
Is it an
I don't know.
or is it a...
Yeah. You know what? I didn't want to look this up because I remember there was some weirdness about this a little bit.
Yeah, because we just are deserializing it via JSON.
Oh, we are. I mean, I could even just for now, I could do a
just set them to null if you want.
Or new. Is it date time offset dot like that?
Yeah, or you could do datetime offset dot now or whatever too.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah, UTC.
I know. I always wonder. Yeah. And then I look it up and I think, oh yeah, I'll always remember this, and then I don't.
I think it's just a property.
Not happy with that. Cannot convert from date time to date time.
That's just date time. I guess we use offset. Nice.
Cool. And then I'm going to have to fix that description up above because I didn't include the equals.
All right. Beautiful formatting.
Yeah, and it didn't auto when I did Control KD. It's like, sorry, buddy, I can't help you here.
Oh, because there's other errors in the page, I think.
Okay, so things are getting better though. I mean, or maybe they're getting worse. So this is show.
Yeah.
Right, and this is show. And then this items, let's go to definition on that. It's going to be at the top, but I'm lazy. So it's not happy with that.
I think probably because you're trying to cast it as an item, right?
Where am I trying to? Oh, there it is. Show. And then these task from result items. Why is this unhappy?
Turn type.
Oh, duh. Okay, thank you. I'm looking at all the code in the function itself. Cool.
And I think the only thing you need to change is way up top. There's idata of show. There you go. So we kind of made it, the templates are sort of generic, so you can do this, right? You can just shove your own model in
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes. Yeah, boom.
This is great. Okay, so here we'll do a show. Okay.
Or, oh, then the type right there. Boom. Nice.
Okay, and now this I need to do control dot. Cool. I have no errors. That ship it.
Ship it. You're done.
Okay, so I could run this. Oh, but I don't have the mock datas in place. But I can get back into messing with my
Okay, let's see if it
view.
runs. I'm interested to know if it still
Oh,
runs.
come on. It
All
totally
right.
works.
All right, I believe you.
All right, let's go. So show, got that closed out. Items page.
Well, that's good. So now you're binding to a
show.
The shows, and you've updated all those things. There's title, description, thumbnail. Cool.
All right, and it's doing something. Hot reload initializing. Now, I am loving this because this is cool to see the, okay, so now it doesn't have anything set to when I click on it. So I need to figure.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened.
And the thumbnail didn't load. All right, so cool.
Did we set a thumbnail URL?
No, we didn't. Okay, so this is the items page. That was kind of what started pointing out to me is that we needed to do something, right? Binding thumbnail. Oh, because I'm still binding to item and not to show. Is that right?
Let you figure it out, John.
All right, let's do this. So this, I need to look at my code behind on this. So let's close all but this. I get too many things open and I need to shut some of them down. So let's go to my item view, item.
Need some Razor pages.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so there's that. And then let's look at the code behind.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is awesome, though. This is
fun learning with John.
Yeah, I have been looking forward to this since we started on this. So I'm super happy. Okay, so we have it's just binding to our item view model. I don't have to change anything there.
Yeah, so if you look here, right, check this out. So if you look at here's what's happening, right? So you have an on item selected there. Now, the reason that your navigation didn't work is because you are, casting it as an item, which is what we used to do, because you still have item in there. So if we really wanted to make it tear stuff down, you would delete item and then start stripping away stuff. But yeah, this makes sense because here in this code, you'd probably want to do something else, right? You're not even going to want to navigate. Like there's no details. Maybe there is a details. I'm not sure yet. But then,
I mean, maybe because there we would I mean, there's options, right? We could either just show it in the page and hide and show stuff for each show, or we could navigate to a thing and it includes more stuff like links for the show and different stuff.
That's true. Yeah, so, that could definitely be. And then, yeah, that's a good idea too. So maybe in the future, we change that around, right? So there's that. Now, you're probably never going to add an item. So,
nope.
Oh, do you still have your app running? Yeah, it's still running, actually, debugging if you tap on it again. So if you go back into your XAML, you could remove that add button up there, right?
Cool. Okay. So my mouse is jumping around a bit, which is
perfect.
Sometimes with the streaming, it does that. And then people are like, John, why can't you just click on? So I could do control. I was going to see if I could do control tab. I forget if you can do that.
Control tab? I'll see. I'm going to have it open.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so I want to get rid of the
add button up there.
Okay, so that's going to be here. So, all right, come on, mouse. You can do it. It's like...
You got it.
What are you doing? Okay. It just went to another screen and selected everything. Okay, I'll do...
Thanks, screen. Yeah, keyboard moves from here.
There it is. Now it's back. Okay. So wonderful. Okay, we got rid of that add. And then, and there it goes. So cool. Okay, so now we want to include, I want that thumbnail to show. And I want to know what's going on here. So binding thumbnail. I'm feeling like that should work. Now, question, how do you debug stuff? Like,
set a breakpoint. Go to your not in the XAML, but you could do it in. So what happened here is when you go into your XAML CS here, what happens is on the very bottom on appearing, when this page appears, it checks to see if you have any items, and if you don't have any items, it goes and calls that command, that execute command. So there's an on appearing in there, right? So scroll down there. It is. So go into that load items command and then set a breakpoint there.
All right.
Well, into it.
Okay, because I need to go actually into the view model. Yeah. Right. So do I go there?
Nope.
No. Okay. Well, I could go into my mock data source thing, right?
Go into your load items command in there.
Oh.
Yeah. So an execute is a method on the command, but that's
got it. Yeah.
So what's happening here is that command, we wrap it in this command so it works with buttons and execution. So that is going to call execute load items command. So you could put a breakpoint in there in the execute load items command.
This one right here. Cool.
So this is where it's going to clear your items. It's going to go to your data store. And you can set a breakpoint on maybe 30, anywhere. Yeah, anywhere, doesn't matter. And then you can pull to refresh.
Oh. All right. So now... Okay, so I'm going to go get my items. Now let's inspect. Okay, so we do have a thumbnail URL.
Thumbnail URL.
Why did it... Okay, what was going on there?
You don't even have to stop debugging. Don't even have to stop debugging.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so let's go back on into here and we'll do thumbnail.
So that was because we used to be using item, now we're using show.
Yep. Oh my goodness, so cool. Okay, now I want to be able to click on something, and I'm not sure. I mean, I would think the thumbnail, or I guess we were saying from this, I can click on any of them.
Click on the whole cell, maybe. Like, what would you do inside of your mail application? Like, when I think about mobile application development, it's like we have these mobile phones on us 24/7, right? So you think about when you're designing a UI, this is like how I get how does James get into the mobile mindset, right? Because you're coming from the web and you're like, the user's going to put their mouse over this thing, right?
Right. But no, you're going to, with your finger, tap on something big, right?
You're going to tap on something big. So you're going to tap on the whole thing, just like you would inside your email app, inside of YouTube, right? Basically, you're creating like a YouTube-esque app. So if you look at what YouTube does, is they just have all the information, and when you tap on it, you click on the whole thing, because people have different finger sizes, right, and different screen sizes. So you want to tap on it. Yeah.
So now I'm remembering I don't need to set up a link. I've already got a details page, and I could just fix my details page.
You can do that. Yeah, totally.
So the way it's navigating to that, I think this is fine on navigate item clicked, and it does. Oh no, that was add item, and I can get rid of this. All right. Here on item selected, it's going over to a thing. It's saying selected as item, and I want this as show. And then I want to go, yep. Okay. And then here it's going to go over to, let's see, I think we fixed this page up. This need, except now we need to fix the.
I love it, John.
All right, this is fun. Item, so this is all decent, except this needs to be a show. So this is interesting to me, why we're initializing data here as opposed to using the design time data.
Yeah, so great question. So if you scroll up a little bit, this is probably needs to be removed. So what's happening here is there's two constructors, and if you pass in a view model, it's just going to use that view model. But if you were just to create it by itself, then it would create a new item. So I think you could probably delete that stuff right there, like that.
This whole thing?
Yeah, I would keep the constructor by itself, because you need it, but all that stuff from 30 to 39, I would delete.
Okay.
Kind of like
so what is? Yeah, that's not needed anymore because I can use the finding data. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So there we go. So now, if I go to browse or pull to refresh, except this, I need to rerun it, right, to get this stuff going.
Yeah, for the non-code behind you. So
yeah.
The other thing you probably need to do is in that one, see that so this item detail page that you're passing in, you're giving it an item detail view model, which you're passing it the item, but that item detail view model, you need to change that to be a show constructor, right?
Yep. So
that is the most basic view model in the entire world.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Yeah. And thank you, Blue Skynet, for the follow. JPayro, B572, Sapphira, thank you for the follow as well. We are guiding Jon Galloway through a journey of mobile app development, all while tethering this live stream on my T-Mobile service. So
it's wonderful. Okay, so now item detail view model, and it has a title and an item, which I guess I'm okay with that. Okay, so item detail page, and then this I'm going to need to update, right?
Yeah.
So
why don't you just close and then redeploy now that you have it all in there, and then you can live reload that puppy.
Okay, so close and redeploy. What did you? You like basically rerun the app, right?
Yeah, rerun the app. Yeah, because you made changes that need to be recompiled, right?
Yeah.
And also you might have some errors still actually in the code.
Oh yeah.
Because it's probably mad at you.
It happens.
It happens. It's life. What are you gonna do?
So there we can't. Okay, so there we're good. There it is. Okay, cool.
Oh, you got to debug the app still.
All right.
I love watching. I love the mobile mindset, or the web mindset.
Yeah.
It's like relaunch it, right? Because it's fun to watch because you're like, well, I've changed the code, so now I should be able to just reopen it, like refresh in the browser, right?
Yep.
So,
but no. Okay, so here's I could set a breakpoint there, I believe.
And just debug it again.
All right. Okay.
You redeploy it, John.
Yeah. But it's getting more and more intuitive to me how it does, like this live reload is wonderful. I'm loving it.
Yeah, because you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna make code changes and change my other stuff, and like now I'm gonna work on the UI. So you could have gone into your item detail page and then modified all of it, went around, But now we're just going to navigate through, and then we're going to modify that UI on demand, right?
Yeah, cool. So I've got an item with a title.
Cool.
So now I can go into the item detail page right here. So now what things do I need to do? I've got...
So continue your debug, right?
Yep.
Right, now you're there.
Oh, look.
Boom.
This is cool. Okay. So here now I could... Let me think about this. This is showing text, which I'm not going to have. I would say I don't even need this to say title. I can get rid of this whole label.
Cool.
Right? Here I could say, instead of dtext item name and all that, this is actually going to be the... It's not item dot, or it is. I would have this be title.
Yeah, so there was, inside of your view model, there was a title property and an item. And that title is what's being used in that navigation bar up top. See that?
Yeah.
So there is a title, but now everything is on your item itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll say show title.
Yeah, and then that, the D text colon is good if you're going to use the previewer, right? So.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is the description, which is fine. I really don't need that label. And then here, I want to be crazy and see if I can put in an actual viewer. And I would drop that, I guess, in between these. Can that work?
It depends. What are you trying to put in?
Like, I don't know, a video player?
No. There are some packages that do that.
Okay.
Which we could explore. Yeah.
I mean, or the other thing is it just works with the like it links it over, and then that'll use whatever like if I have the YouTube app, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, you could just put a button in there maybe that when you tap it opens the browser.
Right. Okay. So let's do that. All right.
It's like an IntelliCode right there. Boom.
Yeah. And then clicked, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you could do clicked as fine. Clicked will generate some stuff in the code behind when you do equals.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. Now, if you want to put it all in the view model, you would do a command, but you can cheat.
Yeah. Okay, good, because that's kind of how I work.
And then we can always clean it up later, right?
Yeah, and then here I would do that instead. Ooh, did you see that?
What happened?
I typed. So here it said button, and I typed this slash, and it removed.
Ooh, that's nice.
That closing tag. That's beautiful. So here, view this episode. Cool. So now I can go in here, and I'll go to this, and I'll say.
All right, so here's what I want you to do. So inside of your application, there's two things. This will be a good, fun documentation experiment, right? So we have two things with Xamarin that are really, really important beyond the platform. There's Xamarin.forms for the UI, and then Xamarin Essentials for APIs that are cross-platform. And Xamarin Essentials does all sorts of stuff. So it might be a good time to Google Xamarin Essentials.
Now, you have some sort of setup. You work on Xamarin Essentials, correct?
I am the PM. That is correct. Yeah.
All right. Okay. But you are going to be all modest, right?
I mean, it's really the team. I just PM it. I write some code too, but I work with the team that does it. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so this actually, like, I'm totally tempted to, because when I was at the Xamarin Developer Summit, and there's stuff about like cool animations and all kinds of cool stuff you can do to make your app like super awesome, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do I browse? Launcher.
Well, so yeah, so read through, see what's going on.
Using Xamarin Essentials, yeah. Okay, I'm good with this.
Go to the top. Go to the top.
Oh, I have to read.
Yeah. So what does that say?
If you are looking to open the browser to a website, then you should use Browser API. So this opens a URI in the system. Got it. Now,
it would also open the website, but just not efficiently necessarily.
Okay. Now, and then I think that Android, if you have, I think Android detects like YouTube URLs and automatically switches over.
Yeah, so if you
Depending.
had YouTube installed on the device, it would automatically do it. I mean,
Cool.
even with this API, right?
Yeah. Okay. So here, I think I can just do that, and then I'll do using xamarin.essentials.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that. So there's that, and then this is it. I'm doing this intentionally to see if it says. Look at that. Come on, that was cool.
Yeah, we installed it
All
for
right.
you automatically.
Yeah. Okay. So now this is saying make method async, and I think I need to do that.
You need to stay void though, because it's a button click. There you go.
Cool. Oh, right.
And you don't need to return.
Okay.
No return then.
And then, yep, you're right. Okay. And then my URI, I'm going to say, oh, I'm passing in that URI. So that is, how do I read my URI from the button click?
Yeah, so here in your
This,
code behind, you have access to your view model, right?
oh, okay.
So
So
this dot view model is there.
URI. And it's a string, or is it a?
It takes either.
Okay. Equals this dot. What was it?
Right up there in that constructor. Got this.
This dot view model. Oh, I was thinking I had the.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting, right? So remember your view, you were doing item dot title, item dot description, because that binding context is of your view model, right? So here, this is for all intents and purposes your view model. You are now sort of outside of that binding, so you need to get access to that view model that's there. So
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. So now this is saying, of course, yep, I don't need that. Cool.
And now we're good because you're still debugging, right? So this is cool because you did all this code. You didn't have to stop debugging. It's not going to execute when you click on it. Like it's not,
right.
It does code gen, right? But for all intents and purposes, you wrote the code, did the thing, and now you just have to redeploy.
Cool. Okay. So I can do restart.
Wow, I never use restart. That's it. But yeah, I guess it restarts, huh?
Yep.
I guess it does.
Let's see. Okay. And this said, no, I guess we're good. All right.
I think that was a pre-compile thing.
And then I can do a hot reload thing. I still want to like have the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
So I could add that thumbnail to the show too. And then I could do some other stuff like put in the community links, right?
Yeah, totally.
So that is cool. Digging that. Okay, so now I can go.
Now what's cool about that is, so you created an emulator that did not have Google Play services or the Google Play Store. So this opened it in like the default Android 18-year-old browser.
Right.
But if you're on a modern phone, that would actually open in this thing called a Chrome custom tab. So you could stylize it. You can make the theme the same overall, and it would do it for you automatically. But it knows how to gracefully fall back because this thing doesn't have anything there. So, yeah.
Love it. Okay, so now I'm going to put the thumbnail, I don't know, there. And then I also want to put the community links in somewhere, right? So now this didn't do gray or anything. So I did something wrong. Did I not set? I need to do item dot.
This is me being this is very hard for me to be quiet, which is great.
Right. Okay, but I did it, right?
Yeah, you did it. No, you're great.
Okay. So now I want to also put in down at the bottom, let's say the community links. So, and this doesn't, I need to go and look at my.
Yeah, I forget what the community link, actually have the thing opened over here.
Okay, so it's
dot community links URLs.
Now, why doesn't it show? I would think it would show that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I would get autocomplete.
Yeah, so there's a way to kind of tell it what to do and be smart enough to put it in there. Sometimes it does show up, sometimes it doesn't. I think that you can, there's like this, there's a way to do it. I forget off the top of my head how to do it, but I think you could do I think you could do this. Okay, so okay, so yeah, I know how to do this. Okay, so go up to your, this is going to be a little interesting. Okay, so go up above your stack layout. Okay.
Okay.
And then do greater than, or less than, sorry. Less than.
Yep. Open a tag.
Yep. Open a tag. D colon.
Right. Okay.
Do content page dot binding context. Okay. And then nope. And then
nope.
It's going to be a main one. There you go. Yep. So
and close it.
Close it. Yep. Now space, and then do open tag local, then lowercase local. And this isn't going to show up. We're just going to let Visual Studio help us, colon. And then do item, what is it called? Item detail view model, whatever it's called.
So like, oh.
Is that what it's called? Close the tab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we spelled it correct, then this should bring in, let Visual Studio take it in.
Let me look at my view models. Oh. Item detail view model.
Yep.
That should do it. Okay.
Okay.
It's not happy though.
Cool. All right. So now, go into your item detail view model for me.
Okay. So it's not usable as an object because it's not public. Blah 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 blah. It's.
So what does this thing take? Right. It takes in a go into your item detail view model. This is fun.
Okay. Item detail view model. Come on, John. Where are you? Item detail view model. Yep.
So there is no constructor that takes in, although it is kind of null, it should do it. But we can pass it a show, which is cool. So check this out. So go back into your XAML.
Okay.
And then do, inside of it, do x colon arguments.
So here, x colon, like capital?
Capital arguments, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Then go ahead and close that out. Then inside of that, do open, and then do model colon show, like lowercase model.
Right. I'm needing to remind, those are just namespaces. So.
Just namespaces, yeah.
Yep.
Then close that out. Okay. Now, hopefully Visual Studio will bring in the model for us.
Okay. So do I do something? Do I type something?
Hover over model for me. And bring in that namespace. Okay, now let's see if I did this right. Is it? I think it's x colon arguments. Yes. That should work. I think.
Okay, so this blue squiggling, do I not worry about that?
Right. I think that's okay. I think it's all right. So now let's see if we get. So the idea of putting this D colon thing inside of here is to, for all intents and purposes,
it's like a hint, right?
It's like a hint, yeah.
Okay, so now let's.
I actually don't know if it'll work. No, it might have to be like a recompile or something like that.
Okay.
We were close.
Cool. Okay.
Fun experiment in the will this work type of thing. But I think you can also do, let me see one thing. Hold on 1 second here. I want to try one thing. Forms, excellent data type. One other thing I want to try. I'll bind. This is only for compile. Okay, never mind. You're good. Okay. There's a billion things that you can do, right?
So I have other questions, and maybe I'm not thinking the right thing. This is community links for the week, but maybe in this case, this should be a button too, right? Because I'm still thinking of like, oh, it's a link, and you'll click on the link. But so I could convert, and this is something where like I want to start like reusing things, I basically want to say in the link itself, navigate somewhere, but I think I'm not. How would you do this if you want? So I've got this, stand-up links, and I want this to be a button that navigates to that list of links.
Yeah, it's the same thing of what you did when you did view this episode, right? You would do, instead of a label, you would do a button for the community links, right? So you would do button and then view community links. Or community links, I think, is what we have in the browser.
Okay, and then this is going to be a different button clicked. Although, so this is part of like, should I make a multi-use function or not be worrying about that?
It depends. So you do have a few options here. Like Xamarin Forms does have a web browser built in. So if you didn't want to navigate outside of the app, you could actually put a web browser inside of it. Ooh. But I think probably you could just have another click handler, basically.
Okay.
That would do it. Yeah.
All right.
That's fine. I just renamed it.
Nice. Thanks, buddy.
Then you can just rename that other one, right?
Yeah. Okay. Save that. Let's get in here. Let's go to that. Let's go there. And then we just basically want to do this. And instead, this is something like that.
Yeah. Now, the cool part is that you are kind of going down the right view, right? So, like, or the right idea of like, these two things are doing the same thing. How do we make those reusable? And then that would be a command, basically. We could implement in our code into our view model like a navigate to or open browser, which takes in a string, and then you could pass it the URL or pass it the community links URL too, which would be kind of nice. So we can do that later, but yeah. So now you have that stuff in there.
Okay. And I guess now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if I'd want to put the buttons together or what, but I do want to, now that I'm listing those out, I no longer need the label with that. Okay, cool. So there's that.
You want to try to maybe get real data?
Yes, I do. I'd forgotten we weren't doing that. Okay. So now let's go. So we were using the mock data source, right? So let's shrink that. Let's go to
here's the cool part is that we have already implemented all the functionality that we need.
What?
Yeah, it's inside of our web view. We can reuse the service that is inside of our website to display it in our mobile app.
Okay.
So see that functions view model service? Double tap on that puppy right there, right?
This one here?
Yeah. Now this thing, it takes in some things inside of here. So this is kind of interesting. So we have this YouTube show service, right? Now we kind of have to think about it in general. We don't have an configuration or actually we could have an configuration. We could do everything that we did here for our mobile apps if you want to. An configuration, an HTTP client factory. But literally for all intents and purposes, this code should actually be reusable. But if we don't want to reuse this code, we could put this code into our mobile app, right?
So, I mean, so I think what you're saying, we could move these services, this whole services folder into our shared?
Could, potentially, yeah.
Then the only thing with that is the shared then needs to implement or deal with the configuration and all that stuff.
It does. The mobile app could do that, but yeah, it might be a little bit too complex for the next 30 minutes to try to get this data in.
Yeah. And if we were to do that, then that shared app, we would have some sort of like, it would be configured with DI and you basically
So maybe instead of just using the mock data store, we create a real data store, right? Up in the Xamarin app.
Yeah. So, okay. So mock data store. So we could copy this over.
Now you could just copy the mock data store first, maybe, right? And then, or create a new, go into your Xamarin app up top.
Yep.
And then there, just create a new file, new class, call it YouTube data store.
Right.
There's probably a lot of refactoring that we could do to make this like some more code reuse between the website and whatnot. But now, for all intensive purposes, what we could implement here is a, you could go into your iData store, right?
Yep. Okay. iData store. There we go.
So here, if we really wanted to, like, we're never going to add, update, or delete anything ever.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make this, you could just get rid of this thing, right? So get rid of your iData store and make it an iYouTube show service, right? Like you just delete that. Just delete it. Delete
the entire class?
The entire data store, right? You don't need it.
So you're saying delete this whole class?
Might have to stop debugging. Yeah.
All right.
So delete that.
Now,
okay. Just delete it.
All right.
And then in your mock data store, instead of, so that one there, your mock data store, not this one.
Wait, sorry. The mock data store.
Mm-hmm.
This is mock data store, isn't it?
There you go.
There it is. Sorry.
So now, instead of being an iData store, why don't you just make it a iYouTube? What is it called? iYouTube
show service.
Show service, yeah.
Except, wait.
Yeah, we're just gonna do some refactoring, and that's in our that's in our shared code already.
It's in our shared. What do we got? Sorry, and here we go. Shared iYouTube shows service.
Oh, of course it is. And then get rid of the templatedness of it.
Right? Sorry. What do you mean?
That of show.
Oh.
Boom.
Okay.
So now, when we bring that puppy in, so now when you implement that interface,
right
there.
Yep. Okay. So here, control dot. And I think we want to do, I always forget, we want explicitly, right?
I think just normal. Yeah. So now what you can do is go down to the bottom where that was integrated. And this is super duper simple because when you go down to get shows, you can just basically return that up top, right? So there's get items async. Go down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Right there. You can just literally copy that line of code from 70.
So just throw it here?
Yeah, because this is our data source. And then you can delete all of the other stuff in that file.
Okay, so we don't need delete, of course.
We don't need get item. We don't need update item. Item. We don't need get item async.
Where's okay. Oh right. Okay.
No, don't need get items async either. And I think here you probably need to cast it as IEnumerable, because it's a list.
Okay, so cast.
Oh, you do need to make it async, I guess.
Yeah.
Or do you? I don't know. I think you just don't await on it, right? Just task dot. Remove that, and then you can cast the items inside of that as IEnumerable of show.
Okay, so IEnumerable. So to the parentheses style cast.
Yeah, just hard cast.
Okay.
There you go. Now we're good, right? So now what's cool about this is that we have our mock data store is like good to go, right? Now, if we wanted to, we could just, for all intents and purposes, implement in the YouTube data store the same interface, right?
Okay.
That we just created. So we have our mock one. So if we didn't have the stuff live, it'd be totally good to go.
So what is broken here?
Oh, you need to make that easy.
Yeah. All right. It's unhappy with, so it says correct. Did I not?
I think it's okay. Maybe you just need to recall. Okay.
So this is in the XAML itself. Maybe I would think close and open the XAML.
Oh yeah, maybe it needs to regen it.
Okay, so let's go to that.
Oh, there you go.
So this is, there's no, it doesn't, it says the can't find the event handler.
There
Okay.
we go.
So there's my, oh, now some things are.
Yeah, now we
also
deleted a bunch of stuff, right? But this is good. We wanted to delete this stuff, John.
Right. Okay, good. So we don't need this whole iData store INPC thing anymore. We just want.
Yeah, I think what you want is just an YouTube service thing, right?
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. Do I want to go like that?
Get out of here.
Show service.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Boop. Cool. All right.
Yeah, so then now what you can do is you can say, yeah, go get me my YouTube show service.
And it doesn't need to be of type show, does it? It's not a generic. Yep. Okay.
Cool. Looks good. And then I think what we should end up doing is maybe, yeah, let's see what else. Let's see what else happens here. Use a mock. What is this?
This was for our unit test. Wait, this is in our test project.
That mattered. That's weird. Maybe.
All right.
Oh, maybe we didn't compile the entire thing, and like we checked in broken code.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Don't tell anyone. Except for our 24 friends that are watching right now. Okay, so now we've got one more problem here.
Yeah, maybe just remove that entire clicked thing in there. Like just delete
Okay.
that and then try to implement it again.
Okay. Oops.
I'm thinking that there is a .g file that like actually gets generated. That maybe it didn't. But there it is. So let's see if that fixes it. That's good.
Okay. No. Okay.
So go to the next error down there. So the item detail view model. And so let's go into your item detail view model really quick.
Okay. Item detail view model. Item detail.
Yeah. So why don't you just create a parameter list constructor on there?
All right. You know, that makes me happy because I can type CTOR and hit.
Yes. Perfect. That should at least make that a little bit happier.
Okay. So now try that. Close and reopen it.
Yeah, try to oh, there we go. Now we got other stuff pop.
All right. So that's this one here.
Perfect. So now we rename that, right?
Renamed. All right. So this is not doing item data store. It's now doing. Actually, it still is. Isn't it still data store?
Still data store, just a different interface.
Okay. Get shows.
And I think, yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Cool.
So now we're back on this XAML.
Try to recompile the .NET Standard library.
All right.
Yeah, the
sure.
dot mobile.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, just the .mobile one.
Or this one. Got it.
I was trying to think maybe the recompile. Oh. Why it's doing that?
Let me see. Is there anything? I mean, it is a clicked method. Community links.clicked, right?
What if you just maybe let it create a new one?
Okay.
Kind of an interesting because you did it while you're in hot reloading, so maybe let it create a new one. Experiment.
Okay.
Equals. Then just do a new event handler.
All right, new event handler. Button 1.clicked it is, and it's still not happy. Oh, wait. That's interesting.
Maybe do a clean on.
Okay.
That's it.
So this is on this one, right? Clean. Build. So now we expect it to give a different error message. It should still, now it should say can't find button clicked 1. I don't know, close and reopen it?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe something with the IntelliSense got messed. I bet it'll still let you redeploy. But
all right.
My assumption is it'll let you redeploy just fine.
Okay.
I think it's an IntelliSense issue.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So let's rerun it.
Yeah, we'll see if it lets you rerun it, right?
Yep. All right, so it's doing that. So I can just.
You gotta wait for it to redeploy.
All right. Yeah, no, I was curious what it would do, right? Because it was in the middle of redeploying.
Yeah. So now
okay.
it's still using our. So now it's actually I don't know what it's doing. Try to redeploy again.
Okay.
I think maybe it got mad at you because you were opening it up. It's actually fun. I watch.
Yeah, somebody just doing crazy things.
That's true.
All right. Well, it no longer has red squiggle there, but it does say that. So I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's crashing. Interesting. So we must have broke something.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh, we did break something, and I know why. I'm pretty sure.
Couldn't attach debugger.
So hit debug again for me. Good. Outputting. I should put my mic over here. I've moved myself so I can see. And then scroll up a little.
Oh. There's nothing to scroll. No. Huh. Should I look in like Xamarin Diagnostics or something?
And let's see.
Should I like close and reopen the solution or something?
Yeah, you could try that.
All right. So
I'm wondering if something got oddly messed up in the cycle. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's something with that IntelliSense weirdness or something. Sure, I'm very puzzled actually. I'm puzzled, John.
Yeah. All right, so it's loading. Let's go back to our general. All right.
Yeah, now let's see if it redeploys.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I was thinking that, so right now, so far we haven't implemented the I think it's like a crash on startup maybe.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we broke something because we switched out all the service stuff, and maybe it's like trying to load the service on startup, and it's
So inside of your app XAML, right? So inside of there, yeah. So here's the problem: is now we're asking for we're registering a mock data store, but we're not giving it an interface. So I think here you want to register, and then this takes in two things into the template. One would be the interface, and then the thing to register. I think, yeah, you do the YouTube.
And then comma.
Comma, yeah.
And then I forget what it's called.
Mock data store.
Okay.
I think
right.
that should tell it what to register. I'm not sure why. That could be it.
All right. It is. Life is a highway. All right, let's see about this.
Building, we're deploying. Yeah, we could always add a breakpoint.
All right.
Oh, there we
There
go.
it
All
went.
right, cool. So it was some exception that occurred, and now I'm assuming that there's also some issue. Well, we'll see.
So when I clicked on the individual show, I need to rerun it. When I clicked on the show, then it died. So we got further. The app is running. So there.
Yeah, so it's actually running now.
Okay. So I got back a show from the mock data store thing.
Which is correct, which is what we had before, right? So now we're just using the iYouTube show service interface instead of the iData store thing or whatever. So now we're kind of reusing our interface.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. And then,
yeah, that works. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it must have been some with some IntelliSense weirdness, but yeah, now we're
okay.
good. So cool. So now we should try to go get them from the functions, right?
From the actual thing. So now instead, so I'm registering that. That's all fine. But now in the, I don't want to register mock show service ?
Yeah, do the real one. Do the iFunction or the functions YouTube service. That's what you created, right? Or what did you create?
Yeah, I did. Functions YouTube service.
No, that one's in the web project, but in the mobile.
Yeah,
project.
I didn't create anything in the
YouTube data store.
Okay. So, all right, I'm a little scared. Let's go here. So we'll do instead of this.
Well, that one.
Wait.
Cool. Now I don't think we implemented. Yeah, one more little curly brace there. There you go. So I don't think that we implemented the interface on YouTube data store. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, so we need to go onto, so I could go like there, and then I could go to.
You can minimize that. You're gonna like now you know, now you're gonna hate the always on top.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's good though. Okay, so that, and then I can do that, and then I can implement interface, and then this. Actually, I want to call into the function.
Now I think you can just copy that code from the web service. Yeah.
All right.
But we'll have to create an HTTP client. We'll have to do some other stuff, but I think just basically
copy just this in.
I think just that stuff, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, So this will be good for me too because I need to know how we're going to handle secrets in my Xamarin app too, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's that. Okay. So now we need us an HTTP client.
I got two the whole thing.
What's that?
You got two. You got function and a function.
Oh my goodness, Inception.
There you go. Cool.
All right.
So yeah. So now just create a constructor, right, for that YouTube data store.
Okay. You know what I'm going to type here.
I know.
So happy about this.
So yeah, just create an HTTP client, right?
Just using. Okay. So I'm not sure how. Do I inject it? Do I just create one in code?
Yeah, just create a private one and then create it in the constructor.
Okay. So all right.
Old school. Think old school before DI.
Oh my goodness.
Now we can use HTTP client factory. We can actually do that, but I don't want to take you down this rabbit hole yet because we've been using my data for far too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go something like that. All right. And then I'll just say, new HTTP client.
Yep.
Cool. All right, and then this is needing some love.
Yes, I think you can just stop debugging. These are all debugger things because
Yeah.
the hot reload, right? So yeah, so President Not Sure was asking, can we actually use HTTP Client Factory in Xamarin? The answer is yes, you can. You can. I dropped a link of using all of ASP.NET Core's dependency injection with Host Builder in your Xamarin app. Glenn and I did one together, which was kind of cool. A session at Build about it, and now in 16.2 or 16.1, we added support all the way down the line, so it actually works out of the box, which is cool. And that also allows you to do configuration files, so we could actually
nice.
do stuff like that. So I think here what you want to do is, instead of looking at the config, is why don't you just put, we will do it in the constructor. So inside of above your HTTP client, do a string and just call it URL, right?
Okay.
Or outside of it.
Oh.
Yep.
Ah.
I love watching you type.
Yep. As soon as
okay.
As soon as I'm on film and starting to type, everything goes wrong.
All right, now why don't we grab that function show URL out of our
out of the other one?
Yeah, so we actually know what it is.
And that's not a secret. That's just a thing. Okay, so that's in my app settings.
That's just that.
So to just see it run, I could throw it in the in here, or I could read it from configuration. What do you recommend?
Yeah, so inside of your constructor, set the URL equal to that. Yeah, so we're just going to set it because we don't want to bring in all the other stuff right now. Now, there's one thing here. So yeah, instead of using that, just pass it the URL. Cool. Now, one caveat here, though, is that on Android, it doesn't use localhost. Okay?
Okay.
So do this for me. This will be a fun exercise. So in your constructor, on line above the URL, do var, so down inside, yeah, there you go. And do var base equals. There you go. And then do device info dot. Okay. Now bring in that namespace. I guess I can't use base, so maybe base URL. That's fine. I didn't know base was a keyword.
Right.
All right. So now do dot platform. This is part of Xamarin Essentials. We can now do platform equals.
Sorry, platform.
So device info dot platform equals. We get rid of that dot.
Oh, right.
Yep. And then do device platform dot Android. So if we're running on Android, now just do a ternary operator.
Okay.
And then set it equal to this string. You ready? It is 10.
All right, wait. I said I was ready. 10 dot
0 2 2. Yep. And then else localhost. Right? Because
okay.
iOS would actually, or Windows would also use localhost.
Okay.
I also did a whole blog post on this. So now inside of our URL, when we set it, we can use string interpolation, and instead of doing localhost, we could put the base URL there.
Yep. Okay. So here and oops.
Gotta get yourself a new keyboard there, John.
You know, it's funny. My lights are off, and this keyboard has LED lights. There, I had my LED lights on my keyboard turned off.
There you go.
Okay, wonderful.
There you go.
That should be good, right?
Yeah, I think so. Are you still running the Azure function locally?
No.
I guess you could run it maybe without debugging.
Yeah. Okay. So functions, and then debug. Start without debugging, but I need to. I always get this.
You got to set it as the startup first. Yeah. I really wish they would let you do it from there, but as far as I know, they don't.
Okay. Start without debugging. Get my function on.
And this is why probably we want to actually deploy it at some point, right?
Yeah, this will all go away. Right. Okay.
Cool.
So then now I can go into my Android app and I can debug. I could actually, well.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, because you could, I guess, debug the Azure function, then you could debug the Android app. Yeah. You could set up whatever, you can do a billion things.
So many things.
All the things. The question is, did this work or not?
Cliffhanger. We should say, come back next week.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't know, is the Azure function running?
I don't know. It is. I didn't.
It's HTTP. Oh, John, I love you so much. This is going to be a fun adventure for you. So, is it running on HTTP or HTTPS?
It is HTTPS, I believe.
Oh.
Here, let's do this. This was. I don't like it how they hide this stuff, Can
you just type in HTTPS and see what happens? I guess it's not. Okay.
Trouble.
So yeah, now this is going to come into a very interesting thing for iOS and Android, because there's security models in which you can't call a HTTP URL here. So you should probably okay, so I'm going to walk you through it. It's going to be a pain. Actually, I'm going to let you go to the Xamarin. Google this. All right, ready?
Yep, standing by.
Right. So
there we go.
So Google. So yeah. So this is. I could tell by the output there. So Google Xamarin Android HTTP traffic. Let's see if I'm good enough with my own SEO. Please be a blog post. Yes, that first one. It's gonna be great. So what you can do is you can tell your Android and iOS application to allow it to do HTTP traffic.
Okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like in the newer versions of Android, it does it. So you want to start on this network security config.
Okay. So I need to create a new file under resources XML. So cool. Let's go there. Let's go. I may need to stop running. I don't know.
I think
so. And I want to create this under resources.
And then create a new folder called XML.
Okay. All right. And that name is significant, I'm guessing?
Yeah. So all of these names are significant. And these resources are how Android does a resource lookup. And it's all compiled into the underlying magic of stuff. And then even this name is of importance too.
Okay.
And you'll see why. Yeah, and then I actually give you the code that you can copy, which is kind of nice, because the blog post literally is for this thing. So again, we can walk you through. There should be a copy button. Wacky thing. Yeah, it looks right.
Copy. Yeah. Okay. So there's this, and then I also need to do that too. Oh, the manifest. Okay. So
what this is going to do is it's going to tell it, allow clear traffic on 10.2.2, 10.0222. Also, xamarin.com. You can delete the xamarin.com one as for reference.
Okay.
But for instance, you might be like, oh, allow my site.azurewebsites.net, right? That's what you would do.
Okay.
Yeah. But here for debug, and then when we publish it to Azure, it's not going to be HTTP, right? It'll be HTTPS because that's on by default.
Right. Okay. So now I need to go to the app manifest as well, right?
Yeah. So what else does the blog say?
I'm just winging it.
Classic John.
Okay, so I need to add this to the manifest. So the Android manifest, I need to find that file. Where are you?
Also, that blog post has a weird... This is good because I'm like reliving to see if I did it correct. It's actually inside your properties.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did it say that?
Probably not. Does it? Let's see.
Okay. I don't think it did, but maybe all Xamarin people are like, of course, that's where it is.
No. Why now?
So, okay, cool.
So I'm going to update that blog post. That's good. So there's already an application node, so you can just append on like inside of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So instead of that, I should do this. Yep.
Still think there's, yeah, you need to close that off. So yeah, so that's how it does the XML lookups inside. That's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, when you rerun it, it will pick up this config file automatically.
Okay. So I'm going to set this as startup because I've already got my other app running. Let's see if that there goes.
And in a world that James has not lied to you, what's it going to put on my to-do list? Update blog post.
Okay.
I love how you click on it, even though
I'm just like, hey, maybe it'll, you know.
Gotta wait, John. Gotta wait. Still compiling.
Oh, come on.
Did it deploy? I don't think I know.
It's hot reloading. Everything's hot reload.
Not when you see now it's like now. I love how you still click on it, John. I love it.
I didn't click that time, actually.
Okay,
I was getting ready.
I love it so much.
I have an itchy trigger finger. Okay.
Ta-da!
What's happening? Look at all these shows. So, and now is when my computer, this is a desktop monitor with a touchscreen, but I don't have the touchscreen configured right now. I should. So this is this. Let's see now if I click on Xamarin. And then this, I would hide community links because there's no community links for that one.
Oh, there.
Oh, no, there are. Yep. Cool. Let's see about another one. So I could see now that we've got a lot of them. I would want to maybe set up paging and stuff like that. This one, I don't want to say community links, and I probably could break the app with that. But I bet there's like some XAML I could do that says only show it if there are community links.
Yeah. Do we have a
We have a visibility one, a property.
Oh, we do?
Right? Yeah, we do like has links or something like that. So if I go to shared.
Oh, it is. Yeah, there you go. Has links.
Okay. Is it called has links?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So so now I'm going to ignore all those test failures. So let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of, and so now we could say visibility or
Explore
is visible. And then it'll be binding has links, I'm guessing. So now what I'm hoping is
item that has
link. So that's interesting. For the hot reload, I like that it never breaks, but I wish that there was some indication that it was like.
Yeah, it tells you actually, if you look at the output right now, it's literally telling you that has links was not found.
Okay.
That's why I noticed it there.
Cool.
But yeah, I agree with you. Like there could be some nice little, hey, this thing doesn't exist. Because that's the thing with bindings. Bindings are really intricate. So bindings, they're smart enough for all intents and purposes to say, hey, like if that property doesn't exist, don't crash. It just like it ignores it for all, in general. So yeah, look at that.
Okay, so now that one, because we used one tab for that. Yeah. Okay.
Bam.
So now there's like 1,000 of these things. I don't know which ones. So okay, cool. Yeah. So this says community. So we actually should. That's another change we should make is make it able to also use one tab, right?
Yeah, probably.
So, cool.
Nice.
All right.
How do you feel?
I'm pretty happy with this. This is a lot. I'm ready. I'm putting on my LinkedIn profile, Xamarin Master Developer.
If you're a .NET developer, you are a mobile developer.
It's true.
It's
This
true.
is cool too. And now I'm interested too. Are there like theming UI wonderful things I could easily turn on and off? Because I remember there were some people talked about like Shell also has some support for things like material theme and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that you can add on. There's like third parties, like Syncfusion has like a whole theming library. Grail toolkit. There's all these other third party like kind of Telerik type style toolkits. Then built in, there's a bunch of other things. So we could add cards on here. We could put this instead of in a list view, we could put it in a collection view. So there's like side by side things, and we could do all sorts of styling to it to make it look really, really good looking, like cards. Yep. And we can make it so, there's like a little pill or whatever, just like we did before. We could really replicate it in general. Yeah, we can make it look very similar. And obviously the difference here is you're getting like the native performance, the native tabs, the native, the whole experience there. So we can sort of feel this out as we go to build the application and start to go deeper on it too.
Yep. Okay, this is cool. And I'm getting more of a feel of like what goes in we did Android specific things, editing the activity versus like setting Android specific permissions. And then most of my code is in the Xamarin.forms mobile app, which is cool.
Yeah. The idea with Xamarin.forms is really, unless you need to do any custom, work or drop down into the platform, you can just stay right in that world.
I have one thing I need to do that's been bugging me. The thing where it says browse at the top, that's not going to work for me. So for that, this is.
So that'll be in your.
Oh, it's actually set in the code behind?
Good.
Or maybe in the app shell. Maybe it's in that app shell. Right? Title equals browse. So, this is interesting because I do want it to stay that way for here, but then.
Yeah, what do you want it to be in your browser?
Yeah. So.
Episode shows. That does actually work. So yeah, that browse is coming from the thing. But if you want to, check this out. So on your tab, right? So inside that app shell, do after shows.
Yep.
Do space and then shell dot as or nav bar is visible. Then equals false. Boom.
Oh, right.
Boom. You just get rid of the nav bar. Get out of here, nav bar. I mean, you could do that, right? You could just be like, hey, this is going to free flow underneath, kind of very modern type of experience. Else, that nav bar is coming from the code behind. So that's where that browse is coming.
Okay.
But yeah, if you wanted to, you could just hard code it to something else. It doesn't have to.
Okay.
But this is maybe not the best, only because now there's like no back arrow. So you could delete that, right? Yeah.
All right.
But anyways, so the shows. And I guess what you could do is, let's see how that works. So you could update that browse. Like you could just change it in the code instead of using the bind, right?
Yeah, so that is being set in this items page here. And then where's that? A title equals binding title. So that's coming from here.
Yeah, it'll be coming from your view.
Oh, right. Okay, so view models, items. So I could say like .NET something like that, or
good, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, in the sense that's code, you'll have to stop and restart, but
yes, okay. And now I'll click on it.
Click. That's pretty good.
I do like too this thing here where it does show the thing, like, you know what I mean? It shows all the background operations.
Yeah.
So you're not like, what is it doing? Cool. Hot reload initializing. So it is 3:40.
Yes.
There it is.
Spend some good time.
Yeah. Cool. But this is incredibly fun. Hooray. Okay. So July 30th. I just want to make sure. Why does this one not have? Oh, because I used one tab.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just verify. Whoa. I thought I barely scrolled and it went nuts.
Scrolled all the way down.
Yeah. So this is a little hard to.
Oh yeah, right? Because that's because you don't have fast scrolling on. So by default, Android doesn't give you like a little thing. So that is actually just an indicator, right? It's not actually a draggable item, right? So what you could do is, this is fun. You ready to do this? Okay, so go into your XAML.
Yep. Okay. Which XAML?
The list items page.
Okay, item page, XAML, there's the code behind, items page, yep.
So under, we're going to add a new namespace. So under that xmlnsmc, let's add a new namespace.
Okay.
So there you go, up one, do xmlns, lowercase android equals, and then just type Android there. And then bring in that one.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, right. Neat.
So we in Xamarin Forms, there's this thing called platform specifics. There's all sorts of things, like things that are specific to Xamarin Forms. So what you can do, I believe this is true. So down now in your list view, anywhere, just underneath the item selected, doesn't matter. Now you can do Android : then list view dot fast scrolling enabled. Now, I'm not sure if this works without things being grouped or not. Like I actually have to, yeah. So now see how it's bigger there? Like actually as you're scrolling. I think now you can actually drag on it. See?
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, now what's really cool is like you can do grouping and then it will display, like it would display dates, or you could put whatever you want in grouping if you had grouping. So normally, like think of your contact app where you have A, B, C, D, E, F. That's the similar to like Android thing, to iOS and Android. But yeah, so now you have this fast scroll thing, so now it's actually there.
Cool.
So I jump around.
What got me into all this is I wanted to verify on one of them that the community links was showing, and it still is. So
yeah, cool.
Okay, so we definitely are over time. We should add in the code, right? Okay, yeah. So let's do that. Let's I mean, I can do that offline or whatever. Let's take one quick look though at our.
Oh yeah, no pull request, so that's good.
Yeah, so okay, we did create a basic mobile app. I think we're done.
Ship it.
With that. I mean, we can definitely enhance the app, right?
Yeah.
But so we should start adding some other features in there.
Yeah, I think. Cool.
Okay. And I will, after we stop, I'll push the code and stuff.
Awesome.
Hooray. Okay.
Like
great success.
I put you back up. Now it's just a Skype logo, which is great. And nice. Let's see. Now my phone officially has given me the you've used 6 gigs of data.
Oh my goodness, they're gonna cut you off.
I know, and Six Figure Dev has just rated me, so that's great. Welcome to the stream. We're just wrapping up, so great. Yeah, I'll put the little raid on there. I got to fix that, but anyways, cool. All right, John. Well, thank you. You built your first mobile app. That just happened.
That was super cool, and we covered a lot of stuff. We were able to like integrate with an API that we built. We like built off the Xamarin Forms template, and then we're able to tweak things. I learned some stuff about like working with the emulator, all kinds of good stuff.
You are now an official certified mobile developer, John.
Yep, I know.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, now we can figure out with Rowan what we're going to do and then figure out what we're going to do next on this stream. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I can show you how to pretty stuff up and do a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to build something together. And I feel like it wasn't completely uncomfortable. You felt relative, besides the MVVM.
Yeah, sure. But
there's a lot of files, right? There's just a lot of files.
It was pretty quick, honestly, in a couple hours to have like a working app. I mean, some things I would think of for some next stuff is like, I would want notifications of like when a show starts. Yeah. That would be pretty neat. And then also some stuff like, how do I actually deploy it or, like publish it? That would be interesting.
That'd be cool.
All
right.
Cool. All right.
All right.
Great success.
Yeah, you're slowly getting smaller on my screen, so that's great. So we'll wrap up before John and my internet connection completely goes kaput. John, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you everyone on Friday. And if you're at VS Live, I'll see you tomorrow. So
cool.
See ya.